I'm Rich Gallup, and we are here live at EA Los Angeles.
That's
Ryan,
right.
how are you feeling today?
I feel great. You know, it's like we've been here actually all day, running around, shooting some stuff for you to have it kind of pre-ready for the show. And everybody here has been so terrific. It's been awesome.
We've met like 1 million people today. We've seen 3 great games. We're going to be sharing them all with you. If you're a GameSpot Complete member, get your questions sent in to us right now using the forum. If you have questions for
Battle for Middle Earth.
Yes, Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle Earth. If you have questions for GoldenEye, Rogue Agent, or
Medal of Honor, Pacific Assault. You can send them on this way. We got all the people here. Actually, we're in their home. They're making the games as we speak. We had to pull them away, and I know there's a couple guys over here like Mark Skaggs, who is in charge of Battle for Middle Earth, and you know, they want to be making games. They don't want to be talking to us, but we're lucky enough to have them sit with us today, talk about the games, see some new stuff. Battle for Middle Earth, by the way, we've got tons of really cool footage that we're going to show you guys. Mark's going to be here live talking about it, like Rich said. Plus, we got tons of giveaway stuff.
That's right. We got a whole bunch of posters we're giving away. We got T-shirts we're giving away. And guess what? We're going to be giving away games.
That's right.
How many games are we giving away?
I think 12, right? 12. 12 is the number. And yeah, so we're going to get a combination of the 3 games, so it should be a lot of fun. So definitely keep this in. So should we hit the news before we start?
Sure, let's hit the news before we get started right here.
Excellent. All right, so 2 big pieces of news this week. Of course, you want to tell them the big one?
Sure, the big one is that the PSP official price announced in Japan, December this month, it's going to be $189.
That's right, or 185, right?
185, something like that.
US transition?
Like 1 million yen or something. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not good with math. And then they're going to have another pack with like a memory stick or something that's 230, but December.
That's right. So it's like, it kind of blows, we were talking about it, it was like 149 for the DS, and possibly we were saying 249, 299 for the PSP, but now it's like they're both right at the same price.
So it's true we can actually afford both, hopefully.
Yes.
That'll be nice.
The other thing, of course, was GTA San Andreas came out.
That's right.
And not only did it come out, but it also jumped a little street date. I don't know if you saw on the forums, but people were saying on Monday, 7 p.m. They were letting it go. We ran out to our local store nearby and we're checking it out. And sure enough, that Monday p.m. they were actually releasing the game. People were standing in line. They were hooting and hollering when they rolled up with the case of the games at 9:30. I don't know if you were out there waiting in line. I know I was.
We have some footage of it we can look at right now. Our man Ryan, he's 5 temperature Celsius. He walked down there, camera. You can see him bringing the boxes in right now. Look at this line. This is in Northern California.
And there's literally like 50 to 70 people just standing in line waiting for it to release it. Everybody waiting. I remember anything like that was probably when they released the PS2 and they had that huge line around the Metreon.
Right. I haven't seen I'm from New Hampshire. I've never seen lines like that except for maybe like episode 1.
yeah, exactly. You're right.
But, yeah, those guys were disappointed. Everyone who was waiting there for GTA San Andreas, not disappointed.
No, definitely not. There's a lot of people there, and I know a lot of the folks here at EA are hoping that a lot of people will be waiting in line in the next couple months for the 3 games that we'll be showing today because, yeah, they all look fantastic. I'm a huge fan of Command & Conquer Generals, so I can't tell you how much fun it was today to see Battle for Middle Earth up close and personal. They're getting the footage and everything. So I think we're all set. I think we should just kick it off. We got a couple things that we want to get to. Neil Young has given us a tour. We kind of did it at EA Tiburon last time, and it was a long, crazy tour. This time, we cut it up a little bit, and we'll be mixing it up throughout the time that we're going to be doing demos and stuff. So stick around. We're going to be giving stuff away. Right now, let's kick it to my man, Neil Young, General Manager of EA LA, who's going to be telling you about the studio we're at right now.
Hi, my name is Neil Young. I'm the General Manager of EA Los Angeles, and we're going to take you on a tour of our facility. So, let's go. We got a beach volleyball court. We got a soccer field. We got a basketball court. And like all good video game companies, we have a gym. And what video game company would be complete without classic video games? But it's not all sports fields and gyms at EA LA. Let's take a look at where we make the games. So here we are, we're on the 2nd floor of EA Los Angeles. This is where we're building the Lord of the Rings, the Battle for Middle Earth, the real-time strategy game from the team that brought you Command & Conquer Generals, coming to a PC near you on December the 6th. I'm going to hand it over to Ryan and Rich, and they're going to give you the first hands-on look at the game. All right.
Fantastic. We're back live. We got Mark Skaggs joining us. How you doing, Mark?
Great.
It's good to see you. Thank you so much for letting us stop by and take some time. I was telling everybody earlier that we were checking out Battle for Middle Earth, and it looks fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
I know a lot of people are eager to play it and see it, but why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about, you guys are pretty much toward the end now. You guys are doing some bug fixing, some other stuff. You want to tell us where we're at?
We're down to the last couple of weeks. We're fixing bugs. We're putting that last layer of polish. Of course, doing multiplayer balance. All those thousands of things that we want to do to make the game just as perfect as we can get it before we ship.
Right on. Now, some of the footage that we're seeing right now, actually, there's your Balrog right there, right?
Yeah, it is.
Now, the crazy thing is, you guys did it in the scale of Command & Conquer Generals, even beyond. There's so many more troops and people out on the battlefield, right?
Yeah. One of the things that the films really showed is just the epic battles, huge numbers of troops. So we wanted to try to pour that as much as possible into an RTS game to have it running live on your fingertips.
Right on. Yeah. Now, one of the cool things is, you guys, even though you have that massive scale, you didn't have to give up on any detail, because I know when the camera zooms in close, those are the same models that we're seeing from far above, right?
Right. It's just, it's the second generation of the engine. We used it on Generals. We've been able to tune it and optimize it, and we've got a really strong team working on it. So that's how we did it.
Right on. Now, for the fans out there, I mean, this kind of appeals to pretty much anybody. RTS fans, Lord of the Rings fans.
Right.
So where do you see it when it's going to come out? Do you think there's going to be just a horde of people waiting for it, or how?
Well, I hope there is, right? No, I think the RTS fans are going to like it because it is a real RTS game, and Lord of the Rings fans are going to like it because it's the first time you actually get to kind of live, be in the living world, kind of feel like you're part of the action. When you get to combine and do things that you kind of imagine or wondered about in the film, like what would happen if you had an ant fighting a troll. I mean, you can do that in this game.
Right on. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and, once again, if you're a GameSpot Complete member, go ahead and look at the forum that's on the page. And you know what, Rich? I'm thinking we should just open up to everybody. Should we just do on the spot at GameSpot.com?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Just today only, if you are a GameSpot member watching the show right now, send an email to onthespot@gamespot.com. Sure. Fill it out. We'll save the prizes for the complete members.
All right.
But if you have a question, send an email to onthespot@gamespot.com. Our man Ricardo will take the question. He'll send it to us, and we will ask Mark Skaggs live your question for Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth.
Now, one of the things that we learned today, actually, we learned a bunch of new stuff today.
Right.
Can we give the folks at home, I know you guys have said a lot of things about Battle for Middle-earth, but let's give them some good stuff. Let's give them some new stuff. I know we were talking some Gollum stuff earlier.
Yeah, well, Gollum shows up there. He's in multiplayer now. He's just kind of like walks around as a spy, just kind of a fun little comic relief. Some of the stuff that we haven't talked about to people is with respect to the living world map and being able to kind of look around it and see, kind of where everything is, and also, you get little movie clips in there. So, for example, as you're halfway through the campaign and you see where your fellowship is, you go ahead and highlight over it. Maybe Frodo and Sam are in the Dead Marshes. You'll get a little movie clip in there. So it's going to really help people who like the game or like the films really get into it and understand where everything's at.
Now, some of the stuff
that's brand new.
That's the brand new stuff. Now, some of the stuff we're seeing right here, that was new footage as well, and that's stuff that you guys put together for us on this reel.
Right.
Can you talk about some of this stuff that we're seeing?
Sure. Well, we've got a great cinematics group, and what they try to do is take all the in-game assets and create, basically the in-between mission movies that we create to kind of help compel and carry the story forward. So you're seeing, actually, some of this stuff is some of the early work there. The Siege of Minas Tirith there, you see the soldiers. We wanted to try to capture what it was like to be at that battle there that you saw in the film, but give you a different take. Because right away, after you see this and you're watching, you'll be able to actually play this stuff inside the game.
I can't wait. I know earlier today we shot a bunch of interviews and got some direct feed, and I'm hoping my man Dave Toole has the footage queued up for Battle for Middle-earth, because there was some awesome Minas Tirith stuff that I saw. Who was it? I think it was Craig, was it?
Yeah, Craig. Yeah.
Craig was picking up some footage for us, and it was awesome. I mean, he was showing me how the whole siege thing works, and now he was talking about some of the AI. You guys had some issues with the AI, but you guys worked it all out. Can you talk about the AI and how much more advanced it has to be now?
Well, because, a couple of things. When you're dealing with just hundreds and hundreds of units roaming around the screen all at once, you have to have an AI that can handle that. You have to have something smart enough to be able to know when to send attack forces in, when to wait.
Now, this is the live footage we're seeing right here.
Oh, there you go. And then the other part is when you're sieging a castle like this, you've got multiple layers like you have there in Minas Tirith, that AI's got to understand, okay, knock down the gate, get up to the second level, more than just, send a whole horde of guys at people. And of course, when you're fighting with Mordor there, the AI has to learn how to use the Nazgul and fly in there and take out the trebuchets there. So it's not just the kind of basic AI that sometimes you see in other games.
Now, one of the other things, too, with Battle for Middle-earth is now, like in Generals, you had some characters that were specialized in what they did.
Yeah,
and
heroes.
The heroes, right?
Right.
You want to talk about the heroes?
Sure. Think of Lord of the Rings. It is It's about heroes, right? The Fellowship, they're all heroes.
Right.
So in Battle for Middle-earth, we wanted to capture that so that you could have light RPG elements on it. So it's no longer just about veterancy, it's about leveling your heroes up. So, you start with Gandalf, he's at level 1, Gandalf the Grey, and every battle you fight, you get some experience points, it levels them up, gets more firepower, gets more strength, and also gets some new spells.
Oh.
So all of the Fellowship plus the heroes you see in the film are in the game, and you get to do the same thing with them.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to bug my man Ricardo over there and see if he's got some questions for us. He's working on it. The one other thing is now the stuff that we're seeing, I also found out that with the AI, and also even when you're playing multiplayer matches, it's very important the placement of your armies. Is that correct?
Yeah, this game is really about, there's a lot of dynamics moving back and forth across the battlefield, and, of course, where you put your armies to protect your castle gates and or going out into the middle of the field and getting the economy plots so that you can keep your economy going. So it's that's critical. The other part is getting into the battle so that you can earn your power points up, so can you earn some powers for yourself to be able to cast like the Army of the Dead or the Balrog.
Now the Balrog, obviously, and the Army of the Dead, those are probably the most expensive of all of them.
Yep, they're the ones that you get, about 45 minutes to an hour into a multiplayer game, and we call them the base crackers, things that you get in there and kind of change the tide of the battle in one fell swoop.
Right on. Now, I guess part of the strategy for that also is you want to spend your points kind of leading up to those characters. You want to spend the points on the lesser, I guess, units?
Yeah, there's a whole power tree there where you get to choose which kind of different powers you want to get. You might want to get, the Elven Wood, which will help, place a nice little green area outside your enemy's base that your elves can go in and be stealth when they're shooting. But then again, you might want to save those points, so instead of getting that, you're going to kind of get closer, get to the Balrog a little faster, or in this case, if it's good, the Army of the Dead. There's definitely strategy in there, a new level of strategy beyond just, fight the battle and get more veterancy.
Now, the one thing I think, what do you think is going to be the biggest, actually I'll ask you, what do you think is going to be the biggest surprise for not only fans of the film, but also anybody that's in RTS? What do you think they're going to see in your game and be like, oh wow?
I think what they're going to feel is they're going to feel this real sense of immersion, that they're really playing the film. Mm-hmm. We've had some focus group testing, we've had outside people come on it, and when they get to Helm's Deep and they're playing it, they say, now I know what it feels like to be at Helm's Deep, right? And now I know what it feels like to be at Minas Tirith. And I think that a lot of people wondered when we first started on the game, is it just going to be take some art and put it on the General's engine? No, it's really the whole Middle Earth, come to life at your fingertips.
That's awesome.
I remember we have a demo movie that we put up on the site a while ago where I think you may have been the one demonstrating the personalities of the groups of soldiers.
Like, the motions.
Exactly. You want to tell us a little about the motions that are shown by the soldiers?
So one of the things that we really wanted to do, add new to the genre, is take the soldiers that basically attack when you tell them to attack or die when they get killed, and put some emotion on it, right? So everybody's seen the trailer with the troll there with a tree, and he comes up and he swings it and he knocks the soldiers away and they're afraid. That's just a very great example of the emotions that we're adding. Now, of course, when you can see here on the screen a little bit, you've got the Eye of Sauron showing up. When the eye shows up there,
is that the spotlight?
Yeah. When that shows up, the good guys get afraid. And Nazgul flies over and screeches. All the soldiers run in fear. So these things are just a whole new level to RTS games that people haven't seen before.
And also with that, and as they're getting our questions queued up, the audio I heard is also cued into that. So if you hear one soldier scream, it sounds distinctly different than if 30 soldiers scream. You hear the roar of them. Is that right?
Yeah. Our audio guys went way over, way over and above on this one, and adding just tons of personality through the voices as well. I mean, when you add emotions, it takes these, these soldiers into, from being kind of robots into something that feels real, and that needs a lot of good sound that goes with it as well.
Before we move on to the question, as we're talking about the audio, now you guys actually got voice actors from the movie, right?
Yep. We got a large number of the actors that were in the films. Christopher Lee as Saruman, Ian McClellan as Gandalf. We got Frodo, we got Sam, we got Gimli, and all these people came to lend their voice to the game. That adds a whole level of authenticity there.
You guys got some fun Gollum stuff even when you're selecting servers and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
we got Andy came in and did some specialized work for us. I gotta say, is when we're making games, that's one of the cool things about doing it. You get to interact with these people who you've seen on the big screen. A little bit of a kind of a fan effect from our point of view as well. It's cool to be with them and see how they work.
Right on. Let's go ahead and take a question. This one comes from Brandon Leahy. Brandon comes from, it looks like, Maryland. And Brandon wants to know, when will you play the game? I'm going to feel like I'm watching the movie all over. Oh, yeah. When you play the game, am I going to feel like you're watching the movie all over again? Sorry.
Well, actually, hopefully, you're going to feel like you're in the movie. And what we don't do is it's not a scene by scene or shot by shot recreation of the movie. I mean, you go into the living world there, you choose which battles you're going to be fighting. You fight some battles that were referenced in the films, which you didn't see, but definitely all the big battles, you fight them, but you fight it your own way.
Right on.
And so it's not just like watching the movie. It's actually, I think, much better.
This one comes in, and I can't actually read the name, so I'm just going to read the question. How does Battle for Middle-earth handle troop production?
Jared Bourgeois.
Oh, Jared Bourgeois?
Yes.
Does it use the traditional barrack style or something else? So I think he's asking.
Oh yeah. So how do you make your units, right? Yeah, of course. We have like orc pits that generate orcs. We got barracks that generate soldiers, or archery range that generate archers, stables that generate horse riders. The whole idea is what we want to try to do is take the typical RTS production methodology and tie it and make it just like you'd think it would be if you were in Middle Earth.
Right on.
So it's really straightforward.
That's awesome. Let's go ahead and take another one. This one comes from Frank. He was wondering how big are the maps in Battle for Middle Earth? If the movies, the scenery are huge, can we expect the same in the game?
Oh yeah, actually. So all you have to do is look at some of the shots that we published on Minas Tirith and Helm's Deep, and you can see just the scope of the maps there. As you're playing it, it feels sometimes like there's just so much room there. You don't know what you're going to do with it, but you fill it up with troops, obviously. Right?
And one of the numbers I heard somebody kicking around today was 24 multiplayer maps.
Oh gosh, no, there's more than that. There's more than 30.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, there's a huge number. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We got another question. This one comes from Art from Vancouver, British Columbia. He wants to know, what is the pure focus of the game compared to other RTSs, such as Rome Total War, Warcraft 3, and CNC?
Okay, the pure focus of the game. Okay, so let's kind of like talking about the vision when we started making the game. What we wanted to do is to make a great RTS game in the Lord of the Rings universe, as told by Peter Jackson in the films. So what we didn't do is just slap a bunch of Lord of the Rings art on top of a Command and Conquer game. And on the flip side, we didn't get rid of all the great RTS fun just to create a Lord of the Rings game. I think we got a great intersection of if you love the fiction, you're going to love it and get in and play it because it's a Lord of the Rings game. But if you love strategy games, you're going to find that there's a whole bunch of new gameplay here. Through the interface, you're going to learn new things. The way we build, our camps and castles, and plus just the hero system and how all the units interact. So very much, I don't want anybody to go away thinking that this is only a Lord of the Rings game. I really want them to think this is a great strategy game in the Lord of the Rings universe.
Oh, excellent. I think we're just about out of time. Oh, we got time for a couple more questions?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. I just wondered, actually, why don't you go ahead and read that?
I just wondered what it was like to be working in the field that you do, as I imagine that's really a lot of fun, or is it? And just any tips you'd be willing to give to people that want to get into that type of career that you're in today. Thanks, from Fabrice.
Okay. So
basically, you have a really cool job. What's it like?
Yeah, it's a really cool job. It is a lot of fun, but it is a lot of work. And I'm one of those people that says, look, if you love it, if you have it in your blood and you want to make games, do it, go for it, do whatever it takes. If you want to do programming, go to school, of course, for that. Art, the same thing. Now, there's certain universities now offering design courses. Go and get as much knowledge as you can there, but don't forget, you got to play games as well. Know as many games as possible, and then just come on and throw yourself into the industry and go for it.
So I can understand if you want to be an artist to take classes for art. Yeah. If you want to be a programmer, go to school for programming. If you want to be a producer, what did you do for college? Actually, if you don't mind me asking.
I got a degree in computer and systems engineering, and then an MBA later. But that was because I wasn't in games, and then I started my own game company. That's how I got into it. So if you want to be a producer, my take is take business classes, take sort of liberal arts, creative thinking classes, and have great people skills. So go take a Dale Carnegie class or something like that.
Great. Got another question, Ron?
I do. This one comes from Mark Townsend. Mark wants to know, this is from West Lafayette. He wants to know, I've heard that you're going to be able to level up your characters like Frodo, Aragorn, and others. How exactly does that work for an RTS?
Oh, it's real simple. Actually, you just go and you take these guys and you fight with them. And as you fight, they get more experience, and you see the little experience bar go up. And when they hit a level, cha-ching, you see a little effect on the screen. Maybe they'll get a new power, or maybe they'll be working themselves to up to a power later. We wanted to make it very, very simple, and all you do is go in and fight, and it just happens automatically.
Fantastic. Yeah. Excellent. We got, I think, one more. I know there's a ton of questions that we're going to go for one more and then move on. This one comes from Guy, location Waldorf, Maryland. He wants to know, what will the system specs be like for the game? It looks like it take a whole lot of graphics. How is it going to? What is somebody going to need to run this on a CPU at home?
Right now, we're trying to nail down the minimum system spec, right? The spec that goes on the box. We're aiming somewhere in the sub 1.6 GPU range, 256 megs of RAM. That's what you need to run Windows XP. So we're keeping that minimum, and a GeForce 2.
Right on.
But so there's the minimum. As you go up, of course, we turn on more bells and whistles. So if you've got the hottest, graphics card with a 3+ gigahertz and a couple gigs RAM, you're going to have a really cool visual experience. Gameplay plays the same either way. So we're not changing the gameplay according to system spec.
Right on. Excellent. All right, I think right now we're going to try to let you get out of here and get back to work. I know you
got a lot of bugs.
When will Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth be out?
It's going to be available on December 6th and in stores on December 8th.
Wonderful. Just in time for Christmas.
Just in time for Christmas, yep.
That's awesome. Excellent.
Thanks for coming by, Mark.
Yeah, thanks so much. Appreciate it. So right now we're going to kick it back to Neil Young, who's going to give us a little time to sneak in some other people in here. He's going to show us and kick it off for GoldenEye Rogue Agent. And we'll kick it to Neil, and we'll be right back.
Here on the third floor, it's good to be bad, because this is where we make GoldenEye Rogue Agent. So let's go downstairs, and Patrick Gilmore, the best-looking EP at EALA, is going to show you the software.
Neil Young, once again, folks. Joining us on our makeshift EALA set is Patrick. How you doing, Patrick?
Great.
Gilman, and we also have Chris Plummer. How you doing, Chris?
Good.
Excellent. And you guys work on GoldenEye Rogue Agent. You want to talk a little about what you guys do?
I'm the executive producer. Chris is the senior producer.
Excellent. Now, Neil was talking about you are apparently the most handsome executive producer there is.
Yes. I have a restraining order against Neil right now.
Oh, right on. Excellent.
He's not allowed to approach more than 50 meters.
Now, like Mark, you guys are also nearing completion of your game, right?
That's right.
Where are you guys at in the status?
Last day of CQC today. We're about to go into first party with PlayStation 2 at Sony, GameCube, and Xbox.
Awesome. Now, for the folks at home who don't know CQ, I'm sorry, was it CQC?
CQC.
It's I know this one.
It's the quality control group at Electronic Arts that basically certifies the title for publication.
Right
so all titles have to meet minimum standards of in terms of bugs, reliability and consistency of user implementation, things like that. So we have a department at Electronic Arts that reviews absolutely every single title that goes through. It's the last stage of testing before the product goes out the door. And that's, of course, after our 120 or so testers have gone through their thorough pass on the product to make it as bug-free as possible.
Right on. So tell me, Chris, is it bug-free? Is it awesome or what?
You're asking the wrong guy. I'm biased, but yes, it's awesome. Yeah. And the bugs and kinks are all worked out, and now it's just all polished up and ready for people to enjoy it at home.
Right on. And we've caught up with you guys a couple of times. I know you had that undercover, the cool
that's right, yes.
video thing that's on the site, and then I know we caught up with you a couple of times. So where are we at now? The game's pretty much done. How proud of it are you guys? Did you guys get to where you wanted to be? Is it the GoldenEye that we all hoped it would be? Like the first one, or what do you guys think?
Absolutely.
Putting you on the spot,
it's the game we hoped it would be. This is a product that finished really, really strong. I mean, it was a team that was cranking really hard through E3, and right when I think a lot of times lose their steam, this team just doubled down and completely delivered on this product. In fact, we ended up being able to put more into the game than we had originally spec'd. We were adding new weapons, we were adding extra multiplayer maps and new multiplayer gameplay configurations and personalization systems right up to the very end. These guys just absolutely never got dogged, never got tired, kept on working to build the best game they possibly could right through the finish line.
Right on. Now I know Rich will tell you is we announced that we were going to come here a week ago live on the show, and everybody went crazy. And like in all honesty, Battle for Middle-earth, all those games are super big and everything. I can kid you not. The amount of email we got for Rogue Agent was unbelievable.
All right, go.
It was just like plowing it. I know. I can see Ricardo and everybody's over there looking through all the emails, just stacking it up. So I know they'll have plenty of questions for us. So why don't you guys go ahead and tell us? Start off with you, Chris. What are you the most proud of? What do you think is going to be the most exciting for people? I know there's a lot of people out there who were fans of the original, and a lot of the questions, I'll give you a hint, were a lot about what you guys snuck in, what's from the first game. And
well, I think what personally I'm most proud of is how some of the new mechanics and the new systems came online, like the dual wield system. I think the way we've implemented that is going to feel like something that's really hard for people to catch up with. We have 16 different weapons. There's over 100 different ways you can combine those, and they literally are combo-style weapons. So you can take a venom injector and stun a guy in his tracks, and then take a railgun, which has a delayed fire, and boom, take him out in one shot. That sort of thing. And the weapons were designed for that sort of combination. And then take the eye mechanics and your GoldenEye and all the special powers you get from that, those are also built to combo with the weapon system and work with the AI. So now you can see through walls. So when the evil AI is, taking cover or hiding, you combo that with your MRI feature. You see them through the wall, you use the railgun, bam, shoot them through a wall. You get a cheap shot, which is one of the rogue bonuses. So everything really just worked out as a great sort of almost like an ecosystem of features that ended up coming together great at the end. So I feel really good about that.
How about you? What do you think?
My favorite part of the game is what we call the evil AI. It's the system where the AI is completely procedurally generated. Nothing is scripted at all in the game. So, you play the game once, you go through, you kind of mark where the different characters are. Maybe you die, maybe you go back and replay that particular section. You come around a corner expecting there to be a guy there, and he's not there anymore. You can, you get into these great circular battles with guys. You can stalk a guy around, a crate or a stack of gold or what have you, only to realize he's actually end-run around and did an end-run around you, and he's got the drop on you. That's how smart these guys are. They will rip you apart if you're not thinking on your feet. And it means that, every single time you play the game, it's a totally different experience. You combine stuff like that with what Chris was talking about, some of the eye features where you can actually look through walls and see the AI. Most games you do that, what you see is a guy just sitting there static, waiting for him to be kind of turned on by the presence of the player. But in this game, one of the really amazing sort of surprises was you turn on the MRI and you see the guy actually moving to try to flank you behind the crate, or actively kind of waiting for you, or dodging, or taking cover, or on a patrol route or whatever. When you're looking at him through a wall in a way that most games just would never be able to deliver.
Now, speaking of things that most games don't deliver, here's some footage that we recorded. I think you guys actually recorded it for us earlier. Multiplayer, obviously a big component of the first GoldenEye. You guys didn't want to leave it out. Out of this one, you guys include the 4-player split screen action.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you guys go tell me about the wicked, awesome multiplayer deathmatch you've been having?
Well, we started on it first, and it was something that was really important for us to make sure we nailed the multiplayer. We actually focused on parts of multiplayer that have really been abandoned by recent shooters, like just one-on-one duels. And looking at the Bond universe, since our game's set in the Bond universe, some of the best duels in all of film came from these sets in the Bond films. Like the top of the Golden Gate Bridge is a great example. When you go one-on-one with some guy and then throw him off the bridge, that's a huge moment. And you get in a room full of guys that are playing this over the couch, or you got your friends over and you're doing it online. It doesn't really matter. You throw somebody off the Golden Gate Bridge, everybody gets into it. And the death traps work that way. That was one of the new mechanics we brought into the game. It's a classic element from the Bond universe that's been sort of under leveraged up to this point. And you can turn them off if you don't like them, but we found it's one of the favorite tools of the tricks that you use in multiplayer is trapping one of your friends as he's chasing you through a hallway, or baiting somebody into a great weapon and hitting a death trap. You can use one of your eye features, which is the EM hack, to remotely activate the death trap. So that adds another element into it as well. So I think the intimate sort of one-on-one and 4-player split screen stuff is something that we're really proud of, because it's sort of been left by the wayside ever since online came into play on consoles. But now you can jump on Xbox Live or PlayStation 2 online and play up to 8 players and use all the eye features, go melee style, throw guys. You can use the death traps, the whole dual wield system. All the mechanics work in campaign and in multiplayer as well. So it's a huge part of the game. Over 20 different multiplayer maps. That's more than we have in our campaign. We have 20 different campaign maps as well. Wow. So it was just a really important part of our game formula. I think everyone's really happy with the way it turned out. It's what we're still playing every night.
That's awesome.
When we're done, checking off our email and stuff, it's like, okay, I got to go for the match. So.
When I was in college, actually, as a film major, and we had projection rooms like this, and we would sneak in and play the original GoldenEye on huge screens like this, 4-player. Now, we shot a ton of interviews. Both of you guys got on camera earlier today. They'll be up on the site later. You told us some nice stories. Who did you work with to get to capture the authentic feel of the Bond universe?
Well, first and foremost, we worked with MGM and Eon Productions, who are really the rights holders for James Bond and have been the people responsible for creating every James Bond story from all the way back to Dr. No. So these are people who know the Bond universe inside and out, and they were able to hook us up with a lot of really key talent that helped us bring that universe to life in a game. First and foremost, Ken Adam, who was our production designer. Ken's the knighted Academy Award-winning production designer of many of the amazing James Bond locations, from Operation Grand Slam Fort Knox in Goldfinger all the way up to the launch bays in Moonraker. He redesigned all those sets for us, and then designed a whole bunch of new sets like Auric Goldfinger's a palatial home and an R&D facility in the Swiss Alps was all designed by Ken Adam, and he got in on every single level of the game and lent his amazing design sensibilities to creating an expanded version of the James Bond world that nevertheless feels like it's totally connected with what you know from James Bond.
Very cool. Awesome. Now, another person you worked with, Chris, you were telling us about the music.
Yes.
Who did you work with, and how much music is actually in this game?
Well, we worked with Paul Oakenfold. It was really important for us to get sort of a new remix for the Bond universe because we're taking players into the Bond underworld. It's a place you really haven't even got to experience in film. So you know the famous villains, and you know their elaborate estates, and you know their devious plots, and you never really got to live in their world. And so to deliver that on all cylinders, we went out and got Paul Oakenfold, who's the world's biggest club DJ. There's over 160 minutes of music, unique custom music in the game. And what was really important for the way we tackled this particular feature was to make it interactive. Instead of a fully orchestrated score from film that is maybe really familiar with what a lot of games try and chase after that, we went for something that's very interactive in nature. So it feels like Paul is in your living room, literally spinning to what you're doing. So when the action heats up, or you grab a hostage, or you clear all the enemies, or an explosion goes off, the music is totally changing in real time, and Paul got really into it. And we're really happy with the way that worked out. It gives our game a really unique edge and style, and it's even influenced his act on the road. So people who are watching Paul's shows now are noticing a little bit of a edge to it that maybe wasn't there before he got working on a project. So it was a great partnership. We're really proud of the work that he did, and we think he feels the same way. It's fun working with him.
Very cool. Ryan, we have any questions yet? Or?
Yes, they got all kinds of questions, and I've been looking at this 2-player action right here on the screen that we're showing. It looks so awesome. All right, so this is a question coming in from, it looks like Justin Pita from Tracy, California. Justin wants to know what sets this particular 007 game apart from the rest.
Well,
pretty straightforward
I'll
question.
take that one. Yeah, it's good to be bad. You don't play James Bond in this game. You play a fallen MI6 agent who has a vendetta against Dr. No. Long ago, you had an encounter with Dr. No. You were severely injured. You lost the use of your right eye. You've had a quest for vengeance ever since. You get kicked out of MI6 for excessive brutality, and you get swept up in a gang war between Dr. No and Auric Goldfinger over control of the most powerful criminal organization in the world. So this quest for revenge kind of sweeps you into the criminal underworld, and you get to see what life is like on the villain side of the Bond universe. In fact, your goal is sort of become the ultimate villain in the James Bond universe.
Did you guys make him like really extra evil then? He's like kicking dogs and stuff.
You get awarded for being extra evil, don't you?
We have a rogue scoring system that absolutely encourages you to play like a villain, and you'll only get the coolest unlocks in the game if you're playing like a bad guy. So you're throwing guys out windows, you're killing guys with death traps, you're using precise shots, you're doing all those kind of rogue things. That's how you're going to actually get the best score and get the coolest unlocks.
Is there like a taunt and reveal your evil plan function, or?
Well, we thought about that.
Another question, Ryan?
Yes, this one comes from Sajid from Houston, Texas. He wants to know, is GoldenEye going to be have Xbox Live support, and how many people are going to be able to play in a given multiplayer map? Also, are there any vehicles in multiplayer mode? Also, what kind of multiplayer games are available? Deathmatch, capture the flag, etc. So
a lot of questions here. Let me hit a couple of them out right off the bat. Okay. So we do support Xbox Live and PlayStation 2 online up to 8 players.
Oh, wow.
The style, sort of predatory style first-person shooter gameplay we have sort of gets its magic number at about 8, and we've developed a lot of environments for that. Of course, I talked before about the 2-player, 4-player contest as well, but 8 is the maximum you can get into. We have a lot of different game modes. Obviously, Deathmatch is the center point of it, which we call showdowns. We have team showdowns, so you can get together with groups and compete, and then there's a whole suite of team games. We have a domination mode where each team is trying to control multiple places on the map and try to dominate the entire map. There's a countdown mode, which is exclusive to online, so if you're an Xbox Live or PlayStation 2 online player, you'll get to play Countdown exclusively. That's where there's a single objective on the map that both teams are fighting over. You guys have seen some clips from our Moonraker maps. Those are all Countdown maps, so you can play Deathmatch on them, but the team game they're designed to be built around is Countdown, and you're either trying to fuel your shuttle or launch a shuttle, for example, in those maps. And one of the modes that I'm most excited about that we started on over a year ago is actually our tug of war mode. And what's great about that is we wanted to sort of reinvent capture the flag sort of for our universe, and instead of have everybody spread out all over the map where one guy's trying to guard the base and another guy's trying to go for the flag, we actually have the combat focused over a moving objective, and in this case it's a bomb. So when you're playing tug of war, there's a bomb and both villainous teams are trying to fight over it and get it to their base. And so you hit the switch, the bomb starts to move to the next station, everybody's fighting to get to that next station, the combat stays very focused, and it can keep moving in one direction, the other team can push it back. You get some really cool strategies that develop from that. It really plays off in our dual wield system because you can set detonator traps over the control stations, things like that. So I really like how that game mode came together. So there's a full suite of team games and free-for-all type action.
Right on. It sounds like you guys got plenty of modes and plenty of stuff going on, so I think everybody's going to be pretty happy. I know the one question I'm going to ask, because I know I saw it like a bunch of times, is what about like the old returning maps, like, you know, some of our favorites? Like the, you know, like you get the, I know I saw the crazy thing at the end with the satellite dish and all that stuff.
There's the satellite uplink. There's a temple map. I mean, I really want to have the fans get out there and get to discover that stuff for themselves. But there's a few locations you'll find familiar.
Right on. This is another question coming in for us from
Staten Island.
Staten Island. There you go. Why don't you take it, Rich?
Oh, that's from I can't. Don't make me say that name. I'm sorry. Uchendu now. Uchendu. I noticed that the GoldenEye Rogue Agent carries a T for teen rating. What does this mean in terms of the game's graphical violence? Just how graphic will the violence be? I'm sorry I butchered your name. That's horrible of me, but.
Well, you know, we really take our lead from the James Bond films, which aren't really known for being bloody. What they're known for in the realm of violence is more kind of great big stunts, sort of epic, very athletic, cool fight choreography, cool gunfight choreography, and that's really where the violence in our product comes in. You know, we let you do a lot of the cool rogue things. You know, you can take a human shield, you can throw a guy off a balcony, you can do a wide variety of things that I think would be considered quite violent, but we don't go all the way to sort of graphic violence because that's really sort of out of spirit with James Bond. The thing we did really double down on was try to get the stunts right. We developed a whole physics system around, we call it stunt action physics, around high impact effects. So if you launch a rocket launcher at some guy's feet, you can blow him into the air, you can knock him off a bridge, you can knock him over an edge or into a wall. You can actually attach the detonator to a guy and choose exactly when you want him to see his demise, and wait till he rushes over to one of his allies to try to take cover and blow them both up in one shot. So there's a lot of that type of really kind of fun, over-the-top, stunt-based violence, but not a lot of emphasis, frankly, on the graphic violence, and that's where the T rating came in.
I got another question. This one comes from EJ Crew. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Is the Golden upgradable, the GoldenEye, I guess, upgradable in an RPG-like system?
I wouldn't probably call it an RPG-like system, but it is upgradable and rolled out over the course of the game. So you basically, as you play, you earn additional upgrades, and you get those from Francisco Scaramanga, who was the man with the golden gun in the film.
Nice.
And in fact, that role was played by Christopher Lee as the first Bond villain to sort of reprise his role in film. So as you play, you'll start out, of course, as an MI6 agent who doesn't have the GoldenEye. You go work for Goldfinger, and you'll get your first upgrade for the GoldenEye. And as the game progresses, you'll get more and more powerful upgrades for it. And that culminates in a magnetic field, which you can grab a guy and send him flying across the room. You can knock guys into other guys with that particular one. So it's a really, really powerful upgrade. It will use a lot of your eye power. Something like MRI, which is the first eye feature that you acquire, that's something you can use all the time. And you'll use it all the way at the end of the game. So we designed the eye features to, although the magnetic field is really powerful because it can take a guy out instantly, the MRI is equally valuable at the end of the game. The hack feature, which lets you remote activate things and tamper with enemy weapons, is also something you'll use all the way throughout the game. And then the one that becomes a favorite in multiplayer is the magnetic polarity shield. And when you get that about halfway into the game, you can actually deflect incoming bullets. And every one of the features has sort of deeper mechanics you'll discover. Like with the polarity shield, you can charge that up, go up and melee attack a guy, and just send him flying with one shot. Wow. So that's a great way to take out mini bosses.
That's awesome.
I have a question. How do earning these powers reflect in the multiplayer play? Now, do you just get everything at the beginning? Do you have
we
to
give them
to you.
We give you the whole suite in multiplayer.
Cool. Now, what about skins and can you? I know you're sure you have some surprises, but are there other familiar Bond villains in the game?
Absolutely. You'll be able to unlock some of your favorites, and by playing the campaign, you'll be able to unlock some of the coolest characters to actually play as multiplayer skins.
Cool. So you can go online and you'll see oh, that guy's got that really badass skin. He must be really good at this game because he's far along.
Absolutely. So if you just beat the campaign and you go online, you're playing against a guy and you don't recognize the skin, stay away from that
guy. We got another question here from Keith Abbott, Litchfield Park, Arizona. Will it have some surprises? I mean, GoldenEye, this is actually a really good question, because GoldenEye obviously had a ton of unlockable stuff. Keith asked, will it have some surprises like the Golden Gun and other unlockables?
Easy answer, yes. Tons. There's multiple tiers of unlockables in every single campaign mission, and when and those directly feed into multiplayer. So your multiplayer game gets bigger and more elaborate as you master the campaign game, and it's great because the mechanics work in both. So you're sort of like training for multiplayer when you're playing through the campaign. some of the specifics, definitely we have the Golden Gun mode, and we have a lot of other modes and modifiers that have to be unlocked as well. A lot of them have to be unlocked.
If you don't want to get us to understand, but how does that work online? So if I have something unlocked, but you don't, and I get online?
The host. It's all about the host.
Excellent.
And of course, if you've unlocked a skin, you'll be able to take that in with you, regardless of whether you have the host unlocked game mode.
I gotcha. That's awesome. We got another question here, and while I'm actually reading this question, Rich, would you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Will you reach around and get some of those GoldenEye shirts right around the corner?
Sure.
If you can reach them?
Yeah.
And we'll give away some of those GoldenEye shirts as well as some games. We don't have the game actually yet, but we're going to give you some vouchers so that when the game is ready, our friends in EALA is going to hook us up and we'll send them your way. This question comes from Manny Meaden. This comes from Van Nuys, California. How long is the single-player mode, and is it is it as intricate as the original GoldenEye?
Single player modes truly an epic experience. There's 8 missions, about 20 levels broken down across 8 missions, and we try to go with the same template as the original GoldenEye in that these missions are huge. Some of them will truly take people 3 to 4 to sometimes 5 or 6 hours to complete. They're gigantic. We've we did what we call white glove testing, where we bring people who've never touched the game, never played it before, really kind of veteran gamers, say, you just bought this product off the shelf, put it in the PlayStation, Xbox, what have you, sit down, play it, and just watch their experience. Literally stood behind them for the 20 to 22 hours it took them to get from the very beginning of the game to the very end of the game.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's a huge experience, and that plus the huge suite of multiplayer stuff makes for probably 50 hours worth of fun.
You want a huge experience, have 12 extra large t-shirts dropped in your lap. Check these babies out. Nice, extra large. It says GoldenEye Rogue Agent on the front. No bond, no rules, no mercy on the back. These are great shirts. Ryan, how do you want to give these away?
I think we should do what we always do with the cool email thing. The first 12 people to send us an email that says, GoldenEye, can't wait for it, give me my shirt. If you have that with your complete address and name, we'll hook you up. 12 people, the first 12 people to send that email in, we'll give you GoldenEye shirts. I think, was it you guys had the posters, or is it just the Medal of Honor posters? I think it's just Medal of Honor, huh?
Probably. We have Medal of Honor t-shirts, too.
All right, so
I had those dumped on me as well.
But we do have 4 copies of GoldenEye Rogue Agent to give away, right? For each platform. So we're saying 2 PlayStation 2, 2 Xbox? Is that what we're saying? Yes? 3. Oh,
what?
12 total. Oh, I see. 3 PlayStation 2, 3 Xbox.
Well, let's give away the games at the end, because I know right now, I'm sure Ricardo's getting flooded with questions and the requests for these t-shirts. If we start giving away the games, we'll never see another question.
All right. So all right, the shirts.
So you said, what'd you say? GoldenEye, I can't wait, give me my game and my t-shirt. Say something along those lines, and a full mailing address, you'll get one of these pimp t-shirts. If you say it wrong, I'm taking all of them. They're sweet.
So stick around, we'll give the games away at the end of the show. Right now, I think we got time for one more question before we move on. All right,
sure.
One more question, and then we'll let you guys get back to finishing. This comes from Matt from, it looks like Fenton, Missouri.
I'll say Michigan.
Thank you.
Sure.
Go ahead, you can see it better.
Okay, yeah, sure. Question, how do the grenades work? Easy question. How do the grenades
Take
work?
that one.
So you have a full-time access to grenades, but it's baked into the dual-wield system. So simply, the dual-wield is about managing your hands. Am I going to pick up a pistol in both hands? Am I going to take a heavy weapon that takes both hands? That sort of thing. If you want to throw grenades, you have to have a hand free, and it's as simple as that. So one of the things you'll find yourself doing throughout the game is you might be dual-wielding with a great combination, hunker down behind cover, drop a weapon, chuck a grenade, pick it back up, pick up your gun again, and keep rolling. So you can manage your weapons in real time. There's a lot of scavenging that goes on as part of the core mechanics. So if you want grenades, just look for them. Guys will drop them when you take out guys. You'll usually have a good supply of them. It's a great source of indirect fire. You can bounce them around corners, you can roll them, all that good stuff.
Are there different kinds of grenades?
It's all one type. We call it the Type 2 frag grenade,
Cool.
and you use it consistently throughout the entire game.
Nice.
And you can chuck them long distance too. I mean, you could be on a rooftop in Hong Kong and literally like pull a Joe Montana and hit guys across the next building. So there's a lot of depth in what you can pull off of them, even just bouncing around a quick corner or really going for the long ball.
I was a big fan of the rocket launcher. Am I going to be pretty happy when I'm online and blowing people away with the rocket launcher?
Have you tried the rocket launcher in Rogue Agent?
Not yet, no.
Oh, yeah, just aim low. That's my advice. Aim low and stay away from walls.
Right on.
Watch for splash damage.
Excellent. All right, so we got one more game to go. We got Medal of Honor Pacific Assault. We got those guys on deck. They're going to be coming by. So if you have any questions for them, go ahead. If you're a GameSpot Complete member, drop them into the form that's built into the page. If you're not, we're going to make a special occasion today. On the spot at GameSpot.com is the email address you want. Send those questions to us, and we'll be asking Medal of Honor guys up next. So right now, let's kick it back to Neil Young, who's going to give us some buffer time to get these guys out of these seats, as well as get our Medal of Honor friends back in them. So take it away, Neil.
No matter how much training you got or how strong you are, when you strap up and step on a battlefield for the first time, it changes you forever.
is really on-the-job training.
Keep moving!
Here's the rifle. This is where you put the bullet, aim it, and fire it.
War is war, and it is either kill or be killed.
The Japanese admiral had bragged that it would take 1 million men 100 years to take Tarawa. But the men of the 2nd Marine Division did it in only 76 hours.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
So here on the 4th floor is where we make Medal of Honor, and authenticity is the key to that franchise. Emotionally authentic, historically authentic, and accurate. So let's take a look at Medal of Honor Pacific Assault coming to a PC near you soon.
Well,
and we're back live. Joining us on the set, Rick Giolito. How you doing, Rick?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Nice to see you again.
Now, you had the big, cool, fancy title for Medal of Honor. Why don't you tell the folks at home what you do?
I'm the vice president, executive producer of the Medal of Honor franchise.
Oh, wow.
I've been working on the franchise since 2000, from Underground all the way through Medal of Honor Pacific Assault.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So you are the Medal of Honor guy.
I'm one of the Medal of Honor guys. There's probably around, I'd say about 250 people who work on Medal of Honor, both on the console and on the PC.
Now, right now, you guys are working on 2 projects, right?
Presently, yeah, we're working. We're just finishing up Pacific Assault, obviously. As a matter of fact, it's gone to manufacturing.
Oh, wow.
Give me, come on, give me 5 more minutes. And fans will be able to purchase that next Thursday here in the United States, and that'll be the Director's Edition.
Can you actually explain the difference between the Director's Edition and the regular version?
Absolutely. We're putting out 2 versions. One is the Director's Edition that's available on DVD only, and then we're doing what people would consider the regular version of the game that's on 4 CD discs. The difference between the 2 products is that Medal of Honor is known for its authenticity. And we've done a tremendous amount of research as we have, worked on these products. We've gone to every island in the game. We've visited with veterans. We've gotten their oral histories. We've done interviews. And since we spent so much time trying to be authentic and true to what it was like to be right there on the battlefield in the Pacific, we decided to share that content with our fans. And so the Director's Edition is chocked full of extra content like you would find in a DVD movie, like a director's cut, if you would. We have an interactive timeline that allows you to follow the timeline in the game from Pearl Harbor all the way through to Tarawa. And you can actually click on the maps. You can get oral histories, news of the day. You can look at the formation of the ships in Pearl Harbor. You can get news reports, headlines. It's probably one of the most extensive historical pieces of research that's available, certainly in a game. Excuse me?
That's saying a lot, because you guys have done tremendously well on all the previous Medal of Honor games as well.
Yeah, but along with that, we also want to give the fans something. We have the Thompson light machine gun in there. We also have a media player, and that takes all of the wonderful music from Medal of Honor, things we've won awards for over the years, and we're including all of the reference art that we've done in Medal of Honor, and fans can go and check that out as well. And another interesting thing that we've put into both products is something we call pop-up facts. And that's something you could toggle off in the game. And what it allows you to do is to mouse over at the actual game screen to learn about your weapon, objects in the world. And something that we really wanted to get across was when we take license with the product, with what happened. So, for instance, we're a game that's all about accessibility and authenticity. We're not realistic. So sometimes we have to kind of adjust a little bit to make sure the gameplay is fun, and we want to be true to our research and the history. So we let fans know that, and that's incredible. They can go and see exactly what we did, when we did it, and why we did what we did.
Wow. And then we're talking about the whole franchise?
That's in Pacific Assault on both the DVD and CD versions.
I gotcha. And I think when we get a chance, we got a ton of shirts to give away, as well as vouchers for the game. And I think if my man Rich is going to be cool and can reach around the corner, we actually have physical boxes that'll show people the difference between the director's edition as well as the regular one. Because I know for a while I was like, they showed me the two boxes and I was like, oh, what's it? And then I realized that clip that we opened up with was one of the gentlemen that I believe is part of the director's cut edition, talking about some of the experiences from the real life.
You know, what really inspires us, I mean, this is a team, this is a labor of love. Medal of Honor is a labor of love from top to bottom. You know, we take what we do very seriously. You know, our vision was to create the most intense, relentless, and authentic World War II experience for gamers around the world. And we do that by talking to the vets. There's nothing more powerful than hearing our vets, the vets that were there. If you can imagine, you know, being in Tarawa with a vet who was there standing on a hill or at Macon Island and having him relive that experience in real time. It's chilling, you know, and we wanted to share that with the fans, so we have all of our vet interviews are included on the DVD version.
Wow, that's awesome. And you actually have those boxes?
I have the boxes right now. I'm guessing when you get the final version, it won't say coming soon on the top, but this is the Medal of Honor Pacific Assault Director's Edition box right here. And when they brought we're shooting interviews for this game as well, which will be up on the site soon, and when they brought this box in, there were a lot of people on the team who actually hadn't even gotten to see it yet, so exclusive, check it out. Pretty cool, huh? And all right, this game looks really cool.
It does definitely look cool. Now, some of the footage that we saw on the screen, it looks like you guys now, Pacific Assault, for those that don't know, does have some of the elements that we saw in the console version of the last Medal of Honor game, correct?
It shares only one.
Is that the Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, it shares only one event, and that's Pearl Harbor. This is a completely different game. Medal of Honor Pacific Assault follows Tommy Conlon and his squad, and that's the one thing that I think differentiates this from all other Medal of Honor products, and that is that this is a squad-based shooter. We have never done that before, and we have introduced some incredible new features into the game that allow you to take advantage of that. Most notably is combat squad control. We wanted to give the players the opportunity to have some level of control over their squad, to introduce a strategy element. Part of what we did was, the game is completely new. It's completely new tech, next-gen tech for the PC, with procedural AI as well as AI dialogue. And what that means is, as opposed to scripted AI where the designers place events and we know exactly how it's going to happen, and you go through the game basically and you memorize what happens, and then you can come back and, you know, you die and then you come back and you go, oh, I know that guy's going to be over there. That does not happen in battle in Pacific Assault. The enemy NPCs and your squad react in real time based on pressure, and you're able to actually control them. You can have them, you know, move forward, come back, covering fire, and it gives you a whole new strategic element. What's really cool is that you don't have to play it that way if you don't want to. If you like to basically just be part of the group, you can go and play it and the AI will take care of itself.
Wow.
Along with that, we've incorporated the Havoc physics engine into our product, and we really wanted to kind of give it a much greater sense of realism. So objects in the world are alive, and you know, you shoot and somebody's in front, you can blow cover in front of guys, and that's important for you and the enemies as well. And as far as the AI is concerned, we have two types of AI. We have the American AI, the GI, the Marine AI, and with the Japanese AI. And it's important to differentiate between the two because they were very different. The GIs were, the Marines actually were able to kind of think for themselves. If the leader went down, they would kind of take over and continue and stay with the battle plan. The Japanese really relied on their leaders and their captains in the field, and were much more morale-based. So if you're playing the game, here's a hint. If you're playing the game, look for the captain. He's always, you know, the captain's always had swords, you know. Right. I mean, that was a big thing in the Pacific, bringing home a sword. Right. If you take him out, you'll affect the morale of the enemy squads. Yeah.
That's awesome. Some of the stuff that we're seeing right now is like, how far into the game is this? Do you know?
This actually is Make an Island, and this is a level where we're in a swamp. And you can see right now the combat squad control, the icons over the heads. The players are actually having them cover. He's called for cover fire. So now the player can actually move around while those guys cover him and look for the enemy and their emplacements. And you can see how incredibly realistic. I mean, the fidelity on this game is unlike anything we've ever done. It's something we're really proud of, and I will tell you unequivocally, I've done, gosh, now, this has got to be my 9th or 10th Medal of Honor product, and this is unequivocally the finest Medal of Honor product we've ever created.
Wow.
Now, Tural Island, that took place in 1943, correct?
Yeah.
So the game not only spans, but it spans 2 years.
Right. It spans 41 to 43. You start actually. The game actually starts in Tarawa. I don't want to give it away.
Right.
But because it's kind of a surprise at the beginning, goes to boot camp. What's interesting about boot camp is you actually meet the characters in the game. As Tommy Cullen, you meet your squad, and you go through boot camp with them, much like you would in real life. And actually, depending on how you perform in boot camp, you get a nickname, and they call you that throughout the game. We also have persistence. So you meet these guys. They're young. They're out of Oklahoma and New Jersey, and they change over the course of the game. Combat will do that to you, guys. We had these young kids who went in and they came out battle-hardened veterans, and that's something that we actually surface in the product.
Wow. We got a load of questions waiting for us, so we're going to get started on that. Looks like the first question is from Ontario, actually we're going to go to, this is Matt B. from Twin Cities, Minnesota. Will we see any familiar characters in Pacific Assault that were in any previous Medal of Honor games?
Actually, this is an entirely new crew. The games that we've done before were all in the European theater, and we wanted to focus on the Pacific. And that meant for us also focusing in a new area, and that's the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps were the first in the Pacific, and so we created an entirely new cast of characters for you to play with and meet and learn about. And it just kind of expands our world and the cast that we've already created. That doesn't mean that future products we won't be bringing out some of the favorite characters, but in this one we really felt it important to focus on the Marines in the Pacific and just the difference between fighting between Europe and the Pacific Theater. The Pacific Theater was a clash of two cultures, and it was very different than Europe, and we really wanted to capture that in the game.
Right on. We have another question from Brendan, and Brandon comes in from Maryland. He wants to know, was a new engine implemented for Pacific Assault? I think we actually already answered that, totally yes. If so, what were some major gameplay changes besides the graphics?
Beside the graphics, we've, I think I already mentioned combat squad control. We also introduced something really cool we call Verge of Death. and Verge of Death is, most first-person shooters, you die, you fall over, and the level restarts. We really wanted to kind of take a look at that and extend gameplay. And since you're in a squad, what we introduced was the ability, when you're hit, you go down. And this goes back to kind of the authenticity and what it might have been to be there. You go down and, you're not out of it. We've introduced something that is completely new in Medal of Honor games, and that's the incorporation of corpsmen, or medics. Corpsmen were medics in the Marines. So we have medics in the game, and you actually have to protect them as you move through because they're your lifeline.
Oh, wow.
And so when you're hit and you go down, we're going to give you the sense of what it might have been like. The screen kind of goes black, you get blurry, you hear things that might have happened in your past or things that you experienced in the game before, and you can call for your medic. And so now, in that moment, you can actually start rooting for your team. Mm-hmm. Can your squad get over to you and protect you? Can that medic get over to you and actually get you back into the action? Because that's what they were there for. And what's really interesting in the Pacific is that the enemy knew this. Mm-hmm. And so, unlike in Europe, they actually targeted the corpsmen.
Oh, wow.
And that's why, if you ever look at a film of World War II in the Pacific, you will see that there are no insignia on corpsmen.
Oh, wow.
Because if they saw that cross, they'd target them because they thought that that would lower the morale of the squads. So this is an incredible new feature that we've incorporated, 2 new features, which is Verge of Death as well as the medics. And we're really excited about it.
Right on. This one comes, yes, I guess, actually, that once again, you answered that question.
How's the enemy AI different?
Well, you
I covered it, but one thing is, one thing I can talk about the enemy AI is that this was when I talked earlier about the clash of 2 cultures. You know, the Americans, this was a war of vengeance for them. You know, they were attacked at Pearl Harbor, and when they went over there, you talk to the vets, you hear about them bonding and having a special bond. The enemy actually had the code of Bushido, and that meant that they would rather die than give themselves up. So that was the difference, really, between the two. And we surfaced that in Medal of Honor Pacific Assault.
Wow, that's heavy. All right, but we're running out of time. This comes from EJ from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Will there be any online co-op included? Actually, that's one thing we haven't talked about at all, is online.
Well, you know, it's really interesting. We actually made 2 games. We made a single-player game and we made an online game. And we had 2 separate teams because we heard the fans, we heard the Medal of Honor clans out there, and they talked to us about, you know, let's really take a multiplayer seriously. So we didn't think of it as an afterthought. So we had a separate team build that, and we included a new game mode called Invader, which is an objective-based team mode, if you will. And the level maps are about 4 to 5 times bigger than Allied Assault. Wow. And we've also introduced classes. So now you can play as a medic, you can play as an infantryman, you can play as an engineer, and you can swap packs. And we've also are coming out with an SDK at launch for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And we've really created an entirely new graphical user interface that's much easier to use. And we are working closely with the modders. We have a mod day coming up, and we're actually working with some of the big modders out there to have additional content out. And coming soon is our first multiplayer downloadable map.
Oh, wow.
And we're actually going to have 2 of them. One is in the game, and one is not. So look for that coming up soon before launch.
You just stole like 3 of my questions in a row right there. Do we have any more, Ryan, or is it time to give it away? Should be our last question?
Last question, we're going to give away some shirts and games.
And games. I'll ask you. It's from Steve in Brussels, Belgium. We're huge in Europe. Huge in Europe. Will you have the opportunity or ability to drive or pilot any vehicles in the game?
I'm so glad you asked because I left it out. Yes, you will. You know, the reviews are coming out, previews are coming out, so I think people know. We introduced a level where you actually are able to fly a plane. You know, the Pacific Theater was as much about battle over the Pacific as it was on the island hopping. And so we introduced a level where you're flying in a Dauntless bomber. I don't want to tell you too much about it, but suffice it to say that the player's going to have to take controls and ward off enemy squadrons, as well as attack some islands and shipping, battleships and aircraft carriers, and yes, you will.
What time is it in Belgium right now? Anyways,
it's got to be like tomorrow night or something. All right, so I give away the GoldenEye shirts. You go ahead and give away.
I'm giving away a whole bunch of T-shirts, and I'm going to give away the posters at the same time to cut down on shipping costs for us. So if you want a Medal of Honor T-shirt, that's what it looks like. Also an XL. It's got a soldier on the front. On the back it says Medal of Honor Pacific Assault Victory, 1 island at a time.
There you go.
That's cool. So I want you to write, give me your name, your full mailing address, and 1 island at a time. And I think there's 12 T-shirts here as well. We'll give them away. We'll throw you a really cool poster on it too. And yeah, that's great.
That is some good business. So we can do these games now?
Actually, yeah, let's do some games.
Oh, you got some winners from last week?
I got some winners. All right, everyone got mad at me like for the last 2 weeks because I haven't been saying any winners' names. So going back to when we gave out all the Halo 2 stuff, if your name is Robert Kluver in Sacramento, you got 3 books coming your way. Matthew Fields in College Station, Texas, got a black Halo 2 T-shirt. Tom Bowen in Groom Lake, New York, got a white Halo 2 T-shirt. And Sean Moore of Aden, North Carolina, got the Sims Bustin' Out shirt. And Matt Bluebob, Powell, Ohio, got the Call of Duty bag with PSP press booklet. I bet they probably already received all this stuff, but they want to hear their name heard. And last week, EA was was kind enough to give us 4 copies of Burnout 3, and we gave those away. And the winners are the 2 Xbox copies. Oscar Osiapa, I pronounced it wrong, I'm sure, from Pocatello, Idaho. I bet there's only like 2 people named Oscar in all of Idaho. You got an Xbox version of Burnout 3. So did Bruce Chang of North Vancouver, British Columbia. PlayStation 2 versions go to Will Redwine of Sioux City, Iowa, and Tom Nelson of Clayton, California.
Very good.
Let's give away some games.
All right, let's give away some games.
Sure. How many games do we have to give away exactly?
She's saying 12. Go ahead. 4 on each platform?
4 on each platform of which game? We're giving away 12 copies of GoldenEye Rogue Agent. Now, you're saying that's impossible, this game is not out yet. That is true. We're actually giving away vouchers for it. So we will hold on to your name. We'll announce it next week on the show, I promise. And when we get the games, we will send you the games. That's how it works. Thank you. And all right, Ryan, let's give away the GameCube versions.
Okay. Yeah, the first, I guess, 4 people?
4 people.
First 4 people that wanted the GameCube version of GoldenEye Rogue Agent, go ahead and send me an email that has your full name, mailing address, and says GoldenEye Rogue Agent for the GameCube, please, please, please.
All right, cool. And now I'll give away the 4 PlayStation 2 versions. I want your full name, full mailing address, and odd job. And you get a PlayStation 2 copy. First 4 people to do it. And by the way, if you've won recently, sure, try again. We'll see what we can do for you. And Rick, you want to give away the 4 Xbox versions?
Sure. Xbox versions, absolutely.
Yes.
The first 4 people to say GoldenEye Rogue Agent, I'm bad.
I'm bad, full mailing address. You get an Xbox copy of GoldenEye Rogue Agent. That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Ryan.
I think that's a show.
Yeah, this is like the longest show in the history of the show, I think.
It's worth it, though. We got 3 good games, all kinds of new content.
It's always fun when we go live on scene. I'd like to thank everyone at EALA, Rick, Mark, Chris, Patrick, Brooke, Tiffany, Abby, everybody else. Birthday, who had a birthday? Tiffany, happy birthday. Abby, happy birthday. We'd like to have to thank Ricardo and Dave and Jason, because if we don't thank Ricardo, he'll yell at us.
Hey, Ricardo, yeah, definitely give a big shout out to Ricardo. Come on over here for a second before we go.
There's more games?
There's more games?
How many more games?
4 PC games.
Oh, excellent. For Medal of Honor, right? Fantastic.
I was thinking, man, are we holding out?
We had the guy right here. He didn't say anything, so I thought I
didn't know. Yeah, I was wondering if we were holding out. The heck with that. Let's go.
Excellent. Right. So if you want the Director's Edition, we have 4 copies to give away. I want a full name, I want a full mailing address, and I want you to tell me, I want the proper spelling of Tarawa. Is that's
Tarawa?
Tarawa?
Yes.
See, I can't even pronounce it. Pronounce it correctly, spell it correctly with a full name and mailing address. First 4 people do that, get the Director's Edition that's on a DVD-ROM of Medal of Honor Pacific Assault. Ryan, give those away.
Okay, this is the regular version of Medal of Honor Pacific Assault, correct?
Yes.
Excellent.
Comes on 4 CDs.
4 PC CD-ROMs. Excellent.
Yes.
4 PC CD-ROMs. First person, full name, mailing address, and Medal of Honor Pacific Assault. I want to go island hopping. That's what I want to see. First 4 people, boom. You're gonna get some games.
This is so much. Melum's gonna hate us.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. All right, we ever get out of here? Oh, I'm sorry. A Battle for Middle Earth. We get to give Battle for Middle Earth. Man, this is
awesome. This is like the best. This is like turning into a crazy infomercial.
Yeah, totally.
It's like we're giving away cars.
All right, so we're giving 4 copies away of Battle for Middle Earth, and we're saying Battle for Middle Earth. 4 PC CD-ROMs. Excellent.
Sure.
Fantastic. All right, Battle for Middle Earth.
Full mailing address and
BFME me.
Perfect. BFME me. Nice.
That's awesome.
Cool. First 4 people do that. Anything else? More games. That's it. Is that it? We sure?
Excellent.
Great. Ryan, send us home, please.
All right. Thank you so much once again. The hospitality here has been awesome. Ricardo Torres wants me to let you know that we've got nothing but fun lined up for you. If you're watching this live right now after the show's over, click back onto the site. You'll see some new impressions and movies of Mario Power Tennis, as well as a whole bunch of other fun stuff. But for everybody here at EALA, Rick,
hey,
thank you so much. Appreciate it. The hospitality in here has been amazing.
You.
And we'll be coming to you live again next week, every Thursday. And please join us again next time. Thanks for watching.
So that's it. Thanks for taking a tour of EA Los Angeles from EALA. I'm Neil Young. Thanks for coming.